biographies.
How can other people tap dance to work? What's the secret of that?
You find your passion. You find your passion. I was very, very lucky to find it, when I was 7 or 8 years old, and fortunately, my children have found their passion. One son loves farming like nothing else. One son loves music like everything else, and all three of them. I just read and read and read. I probably read 5 to 6 hours a day. I don't read as fast now as when I was younger, but I read 5 daily newspapers. I read a fair number of magazines. I read 10Ks. I read annual reports, and I read a lot of other things too. So I've always enjoyed reading. I love reading biographies.
How can other people tap dance to work? What's the secret of that?
You find your passion. You find your passion. I was very, very lucky to find it, when I was 7 or 8 years old, and fortunately, my children have found their passion. One son loves farming like nothing else. One son loves music like everything else, and all three of them love philanthropy and what they get to do. You're lucky in life when you find it, and you can't guarantee you're going to find it in your first job out. But I always tell college students that come out, I say, take the job that you would take if you were independently wealthy. You're going to do well at it. The most important thing is to be able to define which ones you can come to an intelligent decision on and which ones are beyond your capacity to evaluate. You don't have to be right about thousands and thousands and thousands of companies. You only have to be right about a couple. I don't have to understand all kinds of business. There's all kinds of business I don't understand, but there's thousands of opportunities there. I did understand the Bank of America, and I'm able to do that. If you think you're going to be a lot happier if you've got 2X instead of X, you're probably making a mistake. I mean, you ought to find something you like that works with that, and you'll get in trouble if you think that making 10X or 20X is the answer to everything in life, because then you will do things like borrow money when you shouldn't, or maybe cut corners on things that your employer wants you to cut corners on. Ted Williams wrote a book called The Science of Hitting. And in The Science of Hitting, he's got a diagram, shows him at the plate, and he's got the strike zone divided into 77 squares, each the size of a baseball. And he says, if I only swing at pitches in my sweet zone, which he shows there, and he has what his batting average would be, which is 400. If he had to swing at low outside pitches, but still in the strike zone, his average would be 230. He said the most important thing in hitting is waiting for the right pitch. In investing, there's no called strikes. People can throw Microsoft at me, and you name it, any stock, General Motors, and I don't have to swing.
Yes, man. What's going on? Let's pause. Oh, Uncle Warren Buffett. Hope everybody's doing all right, man. Welcome to the Money Flow Sunday service. Listen up, man. Gerald Peters. Always remember, whatever you think about comes about. Whatever you focus on grows. We are live on YouTube. And I'm going to put my thing here because I'm going to cut off Instagram after a little while and just focus on YouTube. Let's pin that. Hope you guys are doing well. Sunday is not about any tickers. You don't go to church for tickers. It's about building faith in the process, man. Let me grab my screen so I can see the comments on YouTube. I call on every Sunday to spread this idea that over time, prices go higher. And that there's really only 3 ways in America to get rich. There's only 3. You can own a business. You can invest in business like other people's businesses. All right, well, you can hear me. There's only 3 ways to get rich, man. It ain't that complicated. If you got 3 fingers, hold one up, man. You can start a business. That's one way. That's the hardest way. And that's probably the way most people get the richest. And two, don't give me any tickers, man. We don't need any tickers. Don't worry about tickers. No tickers. I'm trying to save your soul right now, man. Open up your book, The Money Flow, man. And in the very beginning of The Money Flow, it says the money flow is a fractal pattern. A fractal's a never-ending pattern. Fractals are infinitely complex patterns that are self-similar across different scales. They are created by repeating a simple process over and over again in an ongoing feedback loop, driven by recursion. You might Google that. Driven by recursion, fractals are images of dynamic systems, pictures of chaos. And this right here, my friend, is chaos. I took the liberty of drawing in some of these lines in case they tried to slow down my internet. But this is the S&P 500 is represented by the SPY, SPY. You might own the V, the VU, or the VTI, or whatever. It's all the same. It's the S&P 500. It closed at 409.39. 409.39. And what I believe is this price moves in what I call a fractal pattern, that over time, prices only go up. This is the Dow Jones Industrial Average represented by the diamonds. You like diamonds, don't you? You're buying your wife diamonds. Just sit on her hand. I got some diamonds on mine if you're on YouTube. Diamond bracelet. Here's the problem, though. Your wife's diamond bracelet ain't going up like this. It ain't doing this. It's not going up. All the bling, you're like, oh, my Rolex went up. I got a Rolex too. It don't pay dividends. Get what I'm saying? It don't go up, man. It don't multiply like this. It doesn't 10x, 50x, 100 fucking x. So there's 3 ways to get rich. You can own a business. That's the hardest way. Number 2, you can invest in other people's businesses. And number 3, you can own real estate. That's it, man. And if you say, well, man, real estate's kind of expensive. I know. They're dragging me, aren't they? I may have to cut off Instagram sooner. I tag my name there. If I do, we're going to be on YouTube. Now, the thing about the stock market that your daddy never figured out, it's sad that your daddy didn't figure this out. I know everybody's like, oh, my dad is the smartest man in the whole world. Except he didn't buy the Dow Jones, did he? See how this goes up, man? So we could take this. This is the basic foundation of the money flow. If you don't believe this, nothing's going to help you. I can't help you. There's no point in talking. That over time, assets go up. If you don't believe that, if you're always looking for, some freak out or a crash or a reason to get out or zombie land, if you don't do that, you're never going to build wealth, okay? Now, I could play Warren Buffett saying it over and over and over, and yet every time there's a catastrophe, everyone turns into a complete moron. And they start selling everything and flipping out. Because of that, because people overreact, the market only moves based on a couple things. One, they get fearful. The others, they get greedy. And that's it, man. And we could look up price, and you could do cash flow analysis, and you could look at books, and you could come over here and look at this stock, and this is not a stock, and you could look, and you could say, man, this stock is worth this number. Cool. But if people get fearful, it ain't worth that number anymore. It's worth a whole lot less. What I figured out is it does that in a pattern. That is, I want for the record, 2 times that I almost cussed and did not. That is discipline. 2 times. Almost said the S word and the F word, and I did not. Welcome, Tom. About time you could come to church. Listen up, Tom. I'm going to try to help you. Julian, you damn sure need to listen. You've been fucking up for timestamp 528, Kirsten Church. But the concept of the money flow is based on one thing. Prices over time go up. And you might say, well, I don't believe you. It don't matter. This is a chart of 100 years of the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Okay? Listen up, Larry. 100 years from here all the way back to like 19. Oh, hey, my man with no shirt on at the beach. Listen up. I know you need this shit. So listen, this is 1929 crash. Look what the market did. All you guys with no shirts on your thing, I know you need to listen because I know you ain't got no money. The market comes down, straight down. And look what that did. That's fear, man. It went lower than it should have went. And prices can go below intrinsic value. That's what we call a wedge in real estate, and that's how you make money. And if you don't understand this and you don't understand the flow of price, what I call the money flow, and how price flows, there's no point in you being in the stock market, man. This is it. It's not about options and all the other dumb shit I see everyone spending their time on. It's on the flow of price. And because if you don't have the conviction of how price moves and the history of this, not from just when you showed up. I don't know if you know this. They were doing this before you got here, Tom. Minnie Y. Long before you were born, we were playing this game, man. And so this game's going to go on with you or without you, man. It's going to go up or down. And people are going to get rich, and you can decide not to or to get on board, man. It's up to you. And in the midst of that, price is going to go up and price is going to go down. And you got to get prepared for it. And you need a blueprint for either one. What are you going to do if it goes up? What are you going to do if it goes down? How do you know when to buy more of a stock? How do you know when to trim a stock? Imagine if you learned that and you applied it every day. Imagine if your daddy would have listened to me. Daddy, why didn't you buy the Dow Jones? Look at the Dow Jones, Daddy. We'd be rich right now. And he'd say, oh, man, you don't want to buy stocks. They can go down. Like, what do you mean, Dad? Well, they can go down. Oh, so we don't want to buy them because they can go down. Yeah, that's the logic of most of your friends and family, by the way. So every day you're not buying, you're not getting dividends, you're not getting appreciation, and you're not compounding. So think on that. And think about why people don't do it, man. What if somebody walked up to you and said, hey, man, there's a business you can invest in. It always pays. What if you walked into a casino and they said, hey, welcome to Caesars. Just put in a new game. You never lose. You're like, what do you mean? You never lose. You sit at the table and then they bring you chips. You're like, what do you mean? You put your chips down and they bring you free chips. And if you're good at the game, you can make even more. And so you're playing a game, never goes to zero, never has. I wish we could say the same for the cars you're driving. They're all going to fucking zero. Timestamp 532, Kirsten Church. Every car you guys own is going to zero. Every piece of clothing, everything in your house, all the shit you own is all going to zero. Think about that. Think about how much time, effort, energy you put into shit going to zero. All the restaurants you go to, all the cars you have, all the stupid clothes you on, those fly-ass shoes, this stupid diamond bracelet I'm wearing, all go into zero. You go spend money, go to Clarity's comedy show, gone. Not coming back. You may have laughed. He got your money and left. Everything you spend time, effort, energy on goes to zero. Unless you choose, it doesn't. And this is one of the games that doesn't. And when you die, this shit'll be worth more. Promise you. Always has been. Now, maybe not in a temporary window, but let's back it up. God forbid. God forbid, man. You know, what if something happened to someone you loved right here? And you said, well, Gerald, that's not true. Because I bought in right here, and then I died. It was worth less when I died. I know. But your descendants, when they got it, they didn't sell it. And now they're richer than you. And your daddy could have hooked you up, and he didn't. Because of fear, greed, maybe he just didn't know. Well, now you don't have that excuse because I'm here. God sent me to tell you, man. So now you know. You get to choose. Do I want to be fucking rich? 534. Or do I not want to be rich? There's only 3 ways, man. There's only 3 ways. And this is one of them that I'm showing you. Once you believe what I just said, this gets so easy. Once you believe. And if we back this up, this is the Dow Jones on a monthly chart. If we back this up to a daily, what the hell? Let me see how much they got up. Oh, sorry, hold on. If we back this up to a weekly, each one of these bars, these beautiful, beautiful, beautiful bars that are way nicer than your nails, Curvy, I promise you. This beautiful bar right here is prettier than any lady on this live. This bar right here is more handsome than any man that's here. Here's the thing about this. When you don't show up, it does. It opens up every day at the exact same time and closes at the exact same time. On the days that Coach Barkley doesn't feel like fucking playing, this candle shows up, man. And on the days you don't feel like it, the stock market's going to open. And you're like, oh, I can't do it today because my mama talked real mean to me, Gerald. My girlfriend was really mean. So now I can't trade because I'm all upset and emotional. I'm scared. And then you start hitting the sell button. And we could back this up to Bitcoin. You say, what do you mean? Money flow says that if something's a real asset over time, it's always going to go up. Matter of fact, it's going to go up 70% of the time. 30% it's going to go down. It just tends to go fast. And because of that, that natural flow of price, this right here, this is how it flows, by the way. That's where we get the term money flow. Listen up, coach. I'm trying to make you rich. Stage 1 is where price moves sideways. Look at that. It's called accumulation. This is where GP hangs out all day. This is where I'm at. This is what it's all about for me. This is what I'm trying to discover. Bam. Don't ask about stocks, bro. Be quiet. Stop talking. All you're going to do is fuck up the class with your stupid questions. Listen. This is accumulation. This is where prices go sideways. Now, if we have a belief that over time, prices go higher, if that's true, then once I learn this, where things sell off, and if I know they go too far, as a general rule, prices go too far down. And if I know that, and I have a way of taking this beautiful chart right here, right? This beautiful chart. You're like, look at my Rolex watch. Man, I ain't got shit on charts. There ain't nothing you own I would trade for chart that I wouldn't rather have stock charts. Let that sink in. I'm not talking about the company soft charts, stock charts. I'm talking about stock charts, man. There ain't a fucking thing in your house I would trade you if you took away the ability of me to have charts. That's how valuable this is. Once you understand the movement of price, and you understand that over time, 71% of the time, prices go higher. Once you understand that, you realize that you're playing a rigged game, man. It's rigged. They're going to take it higher. They're going to take this thing higher. Maybe not right now. So look at what recently happened with banking stocks. Well, let's back up for a second. Look at Bitcoin. Look at Bitcoin. Now, the reason people get busted out and get in and get out of Bitcoin is because you got a brain of a goldfish, meaning they don't understand time. So you're 24 years old. You ain't lived that long, man. Half your life, you were 12 years old. So your brain's still growing. You think this means something. This little bit here, you think that means something. What is that? April to April. But it was such a horrible year, Gerald. People think this little right here means something in the life of an asset. Let's back this up to the 100-year chart of Dow Jones Industrial. Which one of these should you have bailed on? How about, oh man, that one looks bad. Your family should have got out there. Maybe just stayed in cash. That'd have been horrible. Imagine how awful it would have been to own here and then it fell here. Imagine that today. That'd have been terrible. Right? So when you live your life in a little bitty bubble of April to April. Yeah, that's pretty big, man. Pretty big drop, man. If April to April is important to you. I mean, it is a long time in your little life, April to April. Is it or is it not? I don't even remember what I was doing in April, to be honest. Probably getting ready to do taxes. That's what I'm doing this April. You get what I'm saying? A lot of this stuff, man, housing prices go up, housing prices go down. And a lot of people are fixated with this idea of trying to avoid the ups and downs. And it's like, you ain't got no money. That's your problem. The price going up and down is in your favor, man. Once you believe that and understand that, shit, you need it to come down, man, so you can get more. Because the problem is, once you bail on this, you're not getting back in. That's the problem, man. Now, I'm not talking trading here. I'm talking about the mindset of an investor. Because you're never going to be a good trader if you don't understand investing. You're not going to believe in the track record of the stock market. You're going to get in, you're going to blow out. You're not going to understand the fractal nature of price movement. Now this, look, that's 1 year on Bitcoin. Maybe you should have sold this one. That was a good one to get out on. There was all those dudes that blew out in this one. Remember that one? That was a good one to blow out on. You know what was a good one to blow out on? This one here. Price fell from like 24,000 to like, man, it was like 3,000, 80, 90% or something. That was a good one to blow out on. That's the one you should have give up and not bought any more, don't you think? That was the one you should have quit it on. Think about that, man. We can make that case on all of these, right? Look at this. Look at this. Bet you definitely wanted out then. You definitely didn't want to ride that down because, my God, who would want to 20x their money? Kirby, no tickers. No tickers. Listen up, man. You got time to tack tickers. You don't know what I'm talking about. You need to understand the flow of price. I know you think you know. You don't know shit. You need to study this. Now, if we take Bitcoin down to a daily chart, this is a daily chart, and I'm looking at the money flow, and I'm fast forwarding for a second, and I understand the fractal nature of price. Some people, you're going to go to YouTube, you're going to be like, do you think Bitcoin's going up or do you think Bitcoin's going down? I wonder what my favorite YouTuber thinks. BitBoy said that this crypto coin was going to go higher and then it went lower. You know how many times I hear that? Here's an idea. Learn how to trade. It don't fucking matter what 541, what a YouTuber thinks, man. That's an idea. Stop being led around, man. If you understand the movement of price, I don't care what anybody thinks or says. I can see it for myself, man. They're out here blaming TikTokers and YouTubers for everybody being dumb. You know what? You could shut them down. People are still dumb and they're still going to do it. And they're still going to make the same mistakes, man. You got people blaming someone else. Fuck out of here. 542. And they still don't know how to trade it and still don't understand how price works. So if we're looking at Bitcoin, watch this. If this is the pattern of price and it's fractal by nature, meaning you can break it down. You could buy one stock, you could buy 10, you could buy 100, or you could buy 10,000. Stock market will take that order and process it. Nobody here is big enough to even move it, man. A fractal's never-ending pattern. Fractals are infinite complex patterns that are self-similar across different scales. So the money flow pattern is built on scale. So if you watch this, look, sideways, down, sideways, right? And inside of this elementary drawing, you're going to see bars. So watch, there's the pattern. Sideways, down, sideways, up, sideways, and that's how price moves, okay? Now, does it do it perfect? No, but as traders, if I can spot it, and you go, yeah, but does it, this right here is a 1 minute chart of the NASDAQ. It's actually the QQQ. 1 minute, man. 1 minute, man. Not your nickname, fellas. 1 minute, man. This is a 1 minute chart, guys. Now you're wondering how I knew your nickname. It's better than 8 seconds. Sideways, up, right? Sideways, down, sideways, up, sideways, down. It's like I'm Einstein or something. It's like science here, man. So if I'm looking at this and I'm like, holy shit, man. Sideways, up, sideways, down. Now, I don't have to go down, but that's what I'm expecting. It could break out. And if it does that, then I go, okay, cool. Stage 2 breakout. Now I'm watching it go up and I'm looking for the sideways and then I'm expecting the down. You get what I'm saying? And so as I watch this, you know, we day trade during the day. I do in our Discord. And I've really been doing that to show people the fractal nature. I day traded for years, man. But then I started doing other shit. You get older, you just do different things. It's also very time consuming, man. So as you're watching this, and it can be a little stressful at times, what I'm watching for is that pattern right there. So as I'm watching it, I'm doing the money flow checklist. I know that price, especially on a 1 minute chart, shit, it might do this 20 times a day. And if we back this up, let's back it up, man. Let's go from that to, let's go to 3 minute. It's a fractal pattern, right? Gets a little harder in here, but you're still seeing the fractal pattern. Sideways, up, sideways, down, or you get it, down, and then sideways, and then what? Up, and then sideways, down, and then what? Sideways. Now, sometimes it don't give you very many bars. It just starts to go. And so if I'm looking at this, I got one day. And now we're not going to get into all the anchor points and all that. That's in trading class. This is in big picture class. So we got our apex, our anchor, and in trading class, we learn how to identify. Well, I assume it's going to go up and then sideways and then down. Let's back it up again. Let's go to the 1 hour. The 1 hour. Now you're wondering if that's my nickname. I know that's what you were thinking. Let's see. That's what Clarity was wondering. Let's see. Sideways, up. Right? And as you see this, see it run, starts to go sideways. But remember what we talked about? It didn't come down. What did it do? Broke out again. And then what? Sideways, down. So as I'm backing this up, I'm running this through. So if I'm... Come on, man. People were wondering. As we back this up, man, we could go 15. The whole thing's fractals, my point I'm trying to make, okay? Look, the whole thing's fractal. Sideways, up, sideways, and then what? Breaks out again. This is a runaway here, by the way. If you have my course, we talk about this. But it does the part of the pattern because the sideways part is distribution, meaning accumulation, distribution, accumulation, or distribution, accumulation. Right? You're getting that pattern of price, but it doesn't mean it has to go down. And the quicker we can start to kind of spot that, the better. Now, if you notice, what is this? This is a 15-minute. And here's the thing you need to understand. When you look at a daily chart, let's go to daily. That'd be a good nickname. He goes by daily. It's going to take all day, man. Listen, seriously, we're in church. Pay attention. How far can this go? Well, inside the money flow, because I know price doesn't go straight up. It doesn't go straight down. What it does is it goes sideways, runs up, goes sideways, comes down. Now, how I want to trade that and what I opt. Hey, thanks for being here, Pursuit. Thanks for showing up now. So if I know price does that, the price moves sideways, price goes up, and that 70% of the time it's going up, right? We got to believe that. Dow Jones, last 100 years, if you look at it, where's it going? Up. And they say, where do you think housing prices are going? Up. Where do you think the price of a truck is going? Higher. How much you think donuts are going to be? More. The rest of your life, they're like, oh, inflation. Guess what? It's going up. You're going to pay more insurance the rest of your fucking life. 549 F word. You're going to pay it more, and your rent's going to cost more, and houses are going to cost more, and insurance is going to cost more, and everything you own, all that shit you went out there and bought that wasn't a cash flowing business, that wasn't a stock that went up or produced cash flow, and it wasn't a real estate, all that other shit you bought goes in the trash. Zero. And you got guys afraid to buy Bitcoin because it might go down, and they spend $3,000 a month on shit that goes through their body into the toilet or in the trash or it's just plastic that's going to die. Now they'll spend, I spent $800 on Uber Eats, but man, I don't want to buy Bitcoin, man. That might go down. That seems risky. And yet they go drop $40,000 on a car that's going to fucking zero. I don't want to buy Bitcoin. This is the logic of the world we live in, man. You will finance shit going to zero and run from things going down. Think on that for a second. Think of how many of your friends are like, oh, the stock market's a rigged game. I don't want to. And they're out there financing cars. People make no sense, man. You can show them this chart. There is no chart like this where you buy a car down here and it returns 100x to your family. There is none. There is no chart like that. Every one of them go to the fucking dump. That's what's going to happen. You know, and a guy's like, well, I got my fancy watch. Okay, good. You got a fancy watch you can tell time with. It ain't going to 10x. It's not throwing off any dividends. It's not paying for your kids. It's not doing shit. And if you want the money, you got to sell it. You want the money here, it's just going to pay you for owning it. So if you own a business that produces profits, that's the fastest way to get rich. If you own stocks that pay you dividends this week, look at this. I'm going to show you something. Then we're going to come back to this. Watch this. Watch this. Where is it at? Oh, this week. Dividends. $108. Money from Coca-Cola, Walmart, Zim, IRM, PFF. This is preferred shares. PNNT. This stock's been hit hard by the recent sell-off in the regional banks because they loan money. They're going to pay me like $355. So that's $2,108 this week. So while the price of these things go up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, this money just keeps coming. And if they're down lower, you get more shares, or you could just take the money. Maybe you just take the money and you just don't give a shit where the shares go, up or down, whatever. Do what you want to do. That's not what I'm doing. I want to track them. Why? I want to track them inside of that pattern. So as I watch price on this pattern, and you're like, man, I don't know about that, man. All right, look at Coca-Cola. When do I want to buy Coca-Cola? When do I want to buy Coca-Cola? Do I want to buy it when it's on a 70 RSI, stage 3 on the money flow? No. So that's sideways. We fully anticipate that comes down. Because over here, after it came down, it went sideways. Right? And I'm burning through a trading class. But then we buy the breakout. Where's my target? Previous high, man. We hit it. RSI goes extreme. Well, we know when it goes from one extreme to a next extreme, the move is over. Most likely. You know? And you can't tell, this is the other thing. You don't know if a stock is expensive based on its price. Price don't tell you shit, man. Now, you'll get a lot of newbies into the stock market that think, well, a $5 stock is $5 stock. It's okay, cool. Go to the fucking dollar store and buy yourself a watch. That's what a $5 stock is. So you come in the market and trade shitty stocks if that's what you want to do. But you're not going to invest your family's wealth in a shitty stock. The reason stocks get expensive is because rich people own them. Duh. And so if you spend your whole life with poor people, you buy cheap shit. So when you come to the stock market, you got to lose all of that knowledge the way you've been thinking, man. People get this confused. You got really smart people that think, well, man, if a stock is that expensive, well, I can't buy. No, one share of $1,000 stock is just as good as a stock that's $100 and you got 10, or a $1 stock and you got 1,000 shares. It's all $1. If I give you $1 in paper, or if I give you 100 fucking pennies, or if I give you 4 quarters, it's still $1. That's one of the hardest concepts. Now, I'm not talking about ease of trading. We're not talking trading right now. We're not talking trading right now. We're talking investing. And the reason you're not rich is you don't know what the fuck you're doing. Period. And you'll have guys that aren't rich, and they're going to give you all kinds of opinions. Think on that. So you're going to go to human resources about your 401. They don't know shit about the stock market or the 401. They don't know anything. And most people, if they sat down and were being honest, as God is their witness, they know next to jack nothing. They've spent almost no time studying price, watching charts, understanding cash flow and books and appreciation and interest rates and business cycles and the ups and downs. And they don't have 10, 15, 20 years of experience of riding markets. Right? Guys, that's how these guys, like we were listening. Let's keep this going.
Day after day. And only when I see something I understand, and when I like the price at which it's selling, then if I swing, if I hit it, fine. If I miss it, it's a strike. But it's an enormously advantageous game. And it's a terrible mistake to think you have to have an opinion on everything. You only have to have an opinion on a few things. In fact, I've told students, if when they got out of school, they got a punch card with 20 punches on it, and that's all the investment decisions they got to make in their entire life, they would get very rich because they would think very hard about each one. And you don't need 20 right decisions to get very rich. 4 or 5 will probably do it over time. So I don't worry too much about the things I don't understand. There's a whole bunch of things I don't know a thing about. I just stay away from those. Tom Watson said it best. He said, he said, I'm no genius, but I'm smart in spots, and I stay around those spots. Well, I try and stay around those spots, and I just don't have a problem if somebody says, you're wrong on something. I go back and look at the facts. I think that really is much more important, frankly, than having a few points of IQ or having an extra course or two in school or anything of the sort. You need emotional stability. The first rule in investment is don't lose.
First rule in investment is don't lose, says Daddy Warren. Man, let me help you, man. Listen up, man. We're in Sunday service. What we got to do first before we could make you a monster trader, man. Some of you guys could be great traders. Some of you are too smart, though. You think the market works on logic. There's a lot of people do that. Everybody does it when they first come in, man. We all make the same mistakes. The trick is to get wise fast. The best way to get wise fast is find somebody who made a lot of mistakes and don't do what they did. I mean, that's the fastest way, man. If a guy says, yeah, man, I did leverage and I blew out. Well, here's an idea. Don't do leverage and then you won't blow out. That's why I always tell people, don't HELOC your house, man. Don't take chances with your family's home, man. It's where your kids sleep, man. That's the castle. First job for you is the king of the castle. I'm a guy, so I always see everything from a man's point of view, but it's the same for a queen, is to protect it. Now, if it's just you there, fucking go ball or crazy, man. Whatever. But once you bring other people in, you have a responsibility to protect that castle. And you need to grow it, but you can't do it you got to be smart, man. And that's what this stuff is about, man. Being smart. And we can follow the S&P 500 and we can do it smartly, man. And you get in tune with this. Look at this. It really hasn't gone anywhere, man. All the drama that's played out. Look at all this from August, November. I mean, we really haven't gone very far if you think about it. And all the drama that's been played out. People with their opinions. And you know how many people told me we were going into recession? And what did you see me coming out here acting like a complete ass? Telling people they don't know what they're talking about, don't listen to these. And what's going on? We're going up now. Is that because I know what I'm talking about? No, it ain't because I'm a fucking genius. It's because I've studied the markets, man. And here's the reality. 70% of the time, they go up. And all these people that think they know where it's going, they don't. Period. Nobody in the fucking wealth squad knows shit. They don't know where the market's going. And nobody in the money flow gang knows where it's going. I don't know. Chris don't know. If you got a guy in there that thinks he knows, stop talking to him. He's either delusional or stupid. One or the other, or scamming you. He has no idea. I have no idea where it's going to open tomorrow. Nobody does. So getting mad at some influencer because some shit didn't work, like, hello, he didn't know. Michael Burry don't know. Ray Dalio don't know. Warren Buffett don't know. Nobody knows. But here's what we know. It's just going to move in a pattern. That's what I know. And most of the time, it's going to drift higher. Why? Evidence. Look, this is the Dow Jones of the last 100 years. What I can do with my trading skills is watch these sell-offs and these setups before. I should go, man. I would like to go out there and just punch that dude. Can I go do that, Dan? This dude's outside my door on the phone tomorrow. I'll beat the. I should have opened the door and just decked him. Be like, you didn't beat me up. That would have been funny. He gets knocked out. Take his phone. Hey, I don't know who you were talking to, but he's out in the street right now. You might want to come pick him up. So, Bitcoin going sideways. Moving averages are coming together. That's a stage 3 going down. I let some idiot on his phone distract me, man. That's real life, though. You notice how I was just talking about the markets and life showed up and distracted me. That's what's going to happen to you. Your wife's going to be like, oh, baby, hey, baby, we should go on, spend all our money. And then you're just going to give all your money to these corporations, which make my dividends work. The reason I get dividends is people spend all their fucking money at corporations, getting loans, car payments, airline flights, cruises, right? That's why we make money, man. So if we go look, watch. So if I come over here, this is about 30-something, I don't know. I got to add it up again. Keeps changing. Goes up. Constantly going up, man. So look at these companies. I like Pepsi, electricity, phone service, mortgage-backed security. So this is a REIT right here. Another REIT, BX, McDonald's. You know what Well is? Well was in my free ebook. You don't have to die broke. Now, I went around the world begging people to read it. Please read this. And it's free. They're like, well, I can't do that, Gerald. Let me see. I'm so busy. I don't read. So none of my friends read it. Now I'm going to show you something. This book, I've owned this stock many years. It's in my book. Back it up. Look at this horrendous fall. This is where if you're an influencer like me, you're getting, do you still like CVS Farm? Yes, I still like it. Yes, even though it's going down. Love it. Just like I've loved this one the last 12 years, okay? So if we back this up, watch this. Don't fail me. Oh, come on, man. Don't do this to me. Oh, they're going to throttle me. Just when it was getting good. Man. There we go. Now look. So many people on here used to be in the money flow. Why don't you guys just come back, man? You know I miss you, man. Just come back in. You gotta sneak around and watch me. Just come back in. Maybe I hurt your feelings, man. Maybe I told you were being silly or something. So during the COVID days, this stock fell from almost $90 to $22. Could you handle it? Could you handle it? What about you? What about you? Can you handle it? Can you handle that? A lot of people can't handle that, man. Look at that. Now, is this a problem? If it goes from up there to down there? That's a big fall, guys. Well, this is an assisted living REIT. There was a big problem with the COVID, the virus, man. All the old people were getting it, man. Can you handle that? Can you handle it? A lot of guys crying about the growth stock. My growth stocks are down 75%, Gerald. Boo hoo hoo. And what do you think? You're the first one to ever? Hello, it happens all the time, man. That's why you can get rich. You don't want the shit to stop happening. You want to learn how to do it, what to do when it happens. So this here, none of these are for sale, guys. None of these are for sale. Take them to fucking zero. None of them are for sale. I'm an accumulator. And I want to, because it pays me money. And they pay the dividends whether the stock goes up or down. So all things considered, take it lower. Now, everyone bitches about the price of how I can't buy a house, it's too high. Well, when stock goes down, they don't want to own it. Now, once you get on the other side of that flip, like tomorrow, please God, open red. I hate green opens. Hate them, hate them, hate them. I want the market down 400, 500, 600 points. Now we're partying. Let's go. Take it down because I need it down in order to make money, guys. If it goes up, I can't make any money. The only time I want it going up is if I'm day trading and I'm long. And then I need it to come right back down. So since I went to all cash on Friday in an uptrend, think about this. We're going to get back. I haven't lost track of where I'm at, man. So this is the daily. I went to all cash into the close in my day trading account, right? So take it down to the 1 minute. This is what I execute on. That's your nickname, the 1 minute man. Here we go. If they're not going to throttle me. So as we're watching this, here's a one. Come on, man. Give me the damn chart. Look what happened. At the last 3 minutes, I closed right here because I was doing a live with you guys. And look what happened. Remember, we did it in real time. It popped. I don't want this shit, man. I need to get in the trade. This is a sell signal. So what I need is the market to open gap down. Maybe come down here to 27. What? Now we're playing the game. Now we're playing the money flow, man. I'm watching that. What do you think I'm waiting for? Stage 1 accumulation. Let's back it up. Come on, man. Don't throttle me. Right? So I need a market to come down. They're trying to slow me down. Any feeds going. I need this thing to come down, not go up. Okay? Let's see. Try to avoid people that always want the market to go up. Right? Those aren't very smart people. And they're not going to end up with much. Because then what happens when your shit goes up, up? Then they're bitching that it costs too much. Everybody wants their shit to go up. Once it goes up, then they're bitching because it costs too much. So once you understand, like, oh, I wish my house prices would go up. Oh, yeah, except if you're like me and you want to buy 30 of them, you don't want them to go up. But then everybody wants the value of their house to go up. Then they want to go get an equity loan against the house to go buy other houses that they complain cost too much. So think about that, man. Now, we want shit coming down. So that's ripping. They're not going to give me the 1 minute, are they? So the point of Sunday service is to get you to get on the other side of the cash register to see how this game really works. So we need prices to come down so that we can take advantage of them. Come on, man. All right, Instagram, I'm going to kill you because they're throttling me because I'm running too many things. If you want to continue to watch, go to YouTube. You see my thing, Full Auto 1125. Appreciate you. Let's get rid of those losers.
Second order investment is don't forget the first rule, and that's all the rules there are. I mean, if you buy things for far below what they're worth and you buy a group of them, you basically don't lose money.
Biggest mistakes people make when investing?
Well, they try to, they just don't realize that all you have to do is just buy a cross-section of America and then never listen to people like me or read the papers or do anything subsequently. They think They think that because you can trade, you should trade. You buy a farm, you buy an apartment house, you can't resell it tomorrow. The cost of moving around. Now you get something handed to you, liquidity, which is instant. You can sell, and the cost of doing it are pennies, compared to other kinds of investment activity. So because they can so easily move around, they do move around, and moving around is not smarter than investing.
Warren, what do you consider the most important quality for an investment manager?
It's a temperamental quality, not an intellectual quality. You don't need tons of IQ in this business. I mean, you have to have enough IQ to get from here to downtown Omaha, but you do not have to be able to play three-dimensional chess or be in the top leagues in terms of bridge playing or something of the sort. You need a stable personality. You need a temperament that neither derives great pleasure from being with the crowd or against the crowd. Because this is not a business where you take polls, it's a business where you think. And Ben Graham would say that you're not right or wrong because 1,000 people agree with you. And you're not right or wrong because 1,000 people disagree with you. You're right because your facts and your reasoning are right.
I've said many times that if you get to be 65 or 70 and later, and the people that you want to have love you actually do love you, you're a success. I've never seen anybody that reaches that age. I mean, I'm not talking about somebody that's in extreme poverty or pain or something, but I've never seen anybody that, if they have a lot of people that love them, that is other than happy.
Buffett was saying there about, before he got all sappy on us there, I hope they love me. He got a little sappy on us there. About, you don't need people to agree with you. Lord knows I know that's true. You don't need people to agree with you. You'll find when you're newer, if you get in doubt of something, you start searching it. Maybe get on Seeking Alpha, you start looking around. And sometimes you're just looking for confirmation bias. You're looking at things, you just want to confirm that you're not a dumbass. Truth is, you probably are. But like Buffett said, you ain't got to be that smart. You ain't got to be no world poker player, bridge player, chess genius, mathematician. Don't need that at all. You just got to believe that over time, and I'm talking investing now, not day trading or something, okay? We're just big picture. And the reason day trading works is this works. If the market isn't here tomorrow, there is no day trading. So we're backing it up and seeing the big picture. But because that is possible, that it keeps going, and then from time to time, and you'll see that the big moves down, the runs up, the big down, the runs up. What we can do is if we can level out our emotion. Now, you're going to get emotional. I get emotional all the time. Lose my shit all the time on Instagram. Make fun of my own friends. Who makes fun of their friends, man? I got mental problems. What's wrong with me, man? And yet, in spite of that, this thing will open tomorrow. My assets will go up in spite of all my problems, in spite of all my weaknesses. None of that has anything to do with it. And all I got to do is believe that it'll go up. Now, the reality is not every stock will. And if you listen to what Buffett said, you buy a slice of America. And you could just pick an index fund. It works. Never hear me disagree with that. But I think we can beat it. Now, as people say you can't beat it, okay, well, maybe not. Not everybody gets on TV, but some people do. Not everybody goes to the pros, but some do. It's a good thing. Good thing Michael Jordan didn't go, you know what? You're probably right. I don't think I'm going to try that. Imagine if Jerry Seinfeld said, you know what? It's very hard to be a fucking comedian. I'm going to go be a bus driver. Like, what if Martin Luther King said, you know what? You're right, man. They're probably going to shoot me or kill me. Like, I probably shouldn't even give that. Like, Gandhi's over there. You know what? Actually, let's just go to McDonald's. Let's kill this hunger strike. You're right. Hey, what if, you know what? You're probably right, man. You know what? They're talking to George when they say, listen, George, if we don't win this thing, you know they're gonna hang all of us. And he's right. You know what? You're probably right. Let's just call off this revolution. Let's don't get on the Mayflower, man. We're going to get over there. We don't know what's over there. Maybe the boat sinks. Maybe the Indians are mean. Maybe all our ladies fall in love with them. I don't know, man. I don't know what's going to happen when we get there. But that uncertainty, that's investing, man. We don't know the future. And if you need certainty and if you're looking for it, you're going to be broke, man. You know, then you're going to live in prison. Last night, I was on Bourbon Street and there was a shooting, you know, or down from Bourbon Street, but there was a shooting and a couple people got hit with a stray. Could have been me. I'd still be trading on Monday, by the way. My friends would be like, oh, Gerald, I can't trade. I got shot in a drive-by. I'd be like, man, you better get me my pad, bro. We're still trading. You better ask yourself, are you going to trade if you get shot? Come on, man. You think most people are going to be like, oh, man, I got it. Yeah. Let me let you on some shit. I will. I do this every fucking day. Followers will come and go. People come in the Discord and leave. They'll trade, not trade. That's not an option for me. I burned the boats long ago. It's this or fucking zero. That's it. It's own properties, collect rent, or zero. There is no bail. There is no get off the train. There is no I'm getting out. It's this or zero. And once you've made that decision, it gets a lot easier. Because in every sell-off is to your advantage. Because you have faith that other people don't have. Now, I'm not talking trading there. People get it confused. I'm talking about big picture vision. So if I have that as a trader and I see, here's an example. KRE, regional banks getting smashed. If we're traders, we know the market's coming back. We got the big picture. We know it never goes to zero. We know they over-dramatize everything. We know the market moves in 4 stages. So if we want to get in there and get our money, and we're watching the pattern, look, thoughts and ideas. Schwab, this is today, Saturday and Sunday, in my living room. All right, guys. If you're in the MFG, let's try something. Go tell your wife, hey, baby, we're going to put a whiteboard in the living room. That way when we're watching TV and hanging out, I can write on my whiteboard. The only dudes doing that in here are single guys. They go, oh, I got to go put it in a room over here. Let me hide it in the back of the closet. Let me go put it back here where nobody sees it. I know, man. Put that shit in the living room. People want, what is that? That's $1 million fucking dollars, man. What? It's $1 million, bro. Well, not all of it, but some of it. That's what I'm doing with it. Now, there's people be embarrassed. They're not going to say that, man. They're like, shh, don't tell nobody about your money. Don't let them know you got some money. They might want to borrow it. You can ask. The answer is no. Man, imagine you get that confident. You don't put a whiteboard in your living room unless you're sold out, bro. There's no other. A lot of people still got a foot in and a foot out. Like they're like, yeah, I'm going to trade until, man, if there's a fucking or exit or possibility, or you've got some plan in your head where you're not in, man. It demands too much of you, man. You're going to try to run money and beat the S&P 500? You think you're going to... People get paid a fucking billion a year to do that. If you can beat the S&P 500 year after year, they will pay you $1 billion fucking dollars. All of the money you've ever fucking wanted. Your family will have so much money for the rest of their life. But here's the thing. Those people are completely committed to it, man. One of the things someone said last night, you like Kathy Woods? I'm in love with Kathy Woods. What are you talking about? Now, there's a lot of young folks that, oh, they feel hurt because their stock went down. They talking bad about her. It's like, bro, what she has that they don't have is she's still in the market. She ain't going nowhere, man. Now, a lot of people blew out of her fund, but she ain't going nowhere. She'll be here next week. She's grandma's age. You got 25-year-old dudes with her shirt off on Instagram, blew out of the stock market. Grandma just stacking cash, still running her fund. Yeah, we're down, but that's all right. We're going to bring in some more money. We're buying shit. She's in there buying things. Get what I'm saying? And you got all those other people trying to figure it. And she's like 70, guys. Think on that, man. God damn. What if your grandma did that, man? What if your grandma did that, man?
Nobody loves them. You know.
The real test of whether you're investing from a value standpoint or not is whether you care whether the stock market is open tomorrow. If you're making a good investment in a security, it shouldn't bother you if they close down the stock market for 5 years. All the ticker tells me is the price. And I can look at the price occasionally to see whether the price is outlandishly cheap or outlandishly high. But prices don't tell me anything about a business. Business figures themselves tell me something about a business, but the price of a stock doesn't tell me anything about a business. I would rather value a stock or a business first and not even know the price, so that I'm not influenced by the price in establishing my valuation, and then look at the price later to see whether it's way out of line with what my value is.
What are, say, 3 pieces of advice you would give to people who are looking to succeed in business?
But Gerald, I'd rather buy cheaper stocks, low price stocks, because me and my family like to shop at the dollar store, and we want to bring that same poor ass mentality to the stock market. We don't want to buy expensive, fancy, valuable things. We want to buy the cheapest things. Give me a list of $10 and under stocks. Those are the good ones. And they place some value on the price of the stock. Price of the stock doesn't tell you shit. You think it means something. It don't mean anything. Unless you know how many shares are out there, you don't know if that means something. The price of the stock means nothing. It doesn't mean it's expensive. You can have a stock that's $5 and it's expensive. And you say, why? Well, it launched at $1 a share and now it's trading at 5 times that. And it may be overvalued based on its earnings. You get what I'm saying? It's the share price doesn't tell you anything when you actually learn to analyze and you look at books, and because you don't know how many shares there are. And you don't know if that it's good or bad just on price alone. So someone may look at it. Now, I'm not saying the mechanics of trading. Okay? You got to, that's not what Sunday service is not about trading, man. We're not talking day trade, all that. This is the big picture of the market. So we got to understand that price itself doesn't mean anything. Might make it, it doesn't. And so, well, I can get more shares of this. Okay, so go buy a shitty investment because you can get more shares, but don't buy some. Let me give you an example that I don't own that I wish I did. Look at Deere. Let's back it up. Look on a weekly. Let's back it up. Look on a monthly. And the guy's like, well, I don't buy $200 stocks because they're expensive. Okay, well, I guess then you won't own $400 stocks. I don't buy beach condos because they're expensive. All right, well, I guess you won't live at the beach then. Keep buying your hoopties, man. Stay in the hood. I don't care. Well, $80 is an expensive stock, Gerald. Okay? It went from 80. So you realize, listen, take a 0 off. Whenever you see a 3-digit stock, take a 0 off. It'll help your brain. If it was $8, you'd be like, yeah, let me get some of that. Well, this is exactly the same percentage as if it went from $8 to $41. $80 stock, $412 stock. $8 stock, $41 stock. It's the exact same price percentage. This is one of those hang-ups. Now, again, not talking trading. Trading, there's logical reasons to buy lower price stocks that fluctuate. I'm talking investing, big picture here, okay? You're not going to find very many portfolios held by the richest people in America, and it's filled with shitty $10 and under stocks. You're just not. You're going to find them filled with Deere, Tesla, Google, Microsoft, Apple. That's what's going to be in there, right? Southern like higher price stocks. Why? Because they're rich and they're smart. And so that's the shit they're buying. The SPY, look how expensive this is. $409. And there's people like, well, I don't want to pay $409. Okay? Don't. It's going to 1,000 with or without you. This here will be $1,000. Now, they might do a 10-for-1 split and take it back to 40 and readjust the chart so that everyone's brain can comprehend it, but it's still the same. And if you, some places you can buy fractional if that helps. Let me give you an example. Look at Amazon. Well, I don't like to buy stocks over $50. Back it up. Then you're never going to own Amazon, by the way. Amazon was not trading for $2.50. They're adjusting this chart, man, for the reverses. Okay? You know that, right? So when they did a reverse split, remember that? Remember how excited everybody was? I would get DMs and emails and texts. And I'm like, you realize it doesn't mean anything. So you got a $10 bill. They're going to give you 10 ones. Congratulations. That's what a reverse split is. But it works. But they don't have to split it, guys. It's still going to go up, man. The only reason they do that is for the little guy because they think in their brain there's something different about that. If you back this up, Amazon was not trading for $2.50 in 2009. It was trading for like $50. But they've reversed, did share splits. So in 2008, toward the end, my dad, on a fucking whim, accidentally, I mean, it was just one of those, he read a Reddit article, had no idea what he was doing, bought my mom 150 shares of Amazon. And it wasn't $2.50, but they're giving you the mathematical equation because they've done splits. Okay? So think of this. One of the things about this game is like poker. You can fucking win and not know what you're doing. You ever sit down and play blackjack with someone and they get a 17 and hit it and then they get a 4? They're like, cool. And you're like, motherfucker. Like, you get what I'm saying? And this guy don't even know what he's doing. And he's winning. Random dole of dice. That's the beautiful thing. Sometimes you get lucky. Look at this. If you have some theory where you can't buy overpriced stocks, you're never going to own these. Now, there's new tools to play this game, by the way. They know that. They know it's so rampant in people's brains, the lizard brain of the average retail trader. By the way, don't be an average retail trader. Become a monster. Be a guy that should be running a fucking hedge fund. When you come in a room, everybody's got a financial question, comes over and asks you. You get DMs, text messages from friends going, hey, man, I know you know a lot about stock. I was in your living room. You got a fucking whiteboard in your living room filled with stocks. Fuck, I don't know anyone like that. You know me. I wish I knew one other dude that had it. Hopefully I'm still running here. There we are. My buddy Robert's got a whiteboard up with his rent collection. Every month around the 1st, which you didn't send it to me this time, Robert. I'm going to drop you a note while I'm thinking about it. I would have him send me your rent collection, man. He'd send me a picture of his whiteboard where he had all 30-something of his houses. Let me write that down. I might text him when we get off here. He'd send me of his rent collection. It just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And he works that whiteboard, man. Same thing with stocks. You can do it in a notebook. I just like the whiteboard because you can work on it throughout the week. You can watch it. You can have your pad in your hand. You can be looking at it. I can add things as I'm watching CNBC, as I'm watching stuff. I can watch it. Yeah. So these here, I have them listed. These are the 1.5 leverage. This leverage is perfect because you won't blow out. I don't think there's any way you blow out on this leverage if you're buying it with your own money. You know what I mean? Meaning it's 1.5 leverage. $1 buys you $1.50 of Amazon. It's trading at $16.98. Anybody can buy this. It is not the stock of Amazon. You got to understand that. It is not. Okay? It's an entity. It's a derivative of Amazon. They have it for Amazon. They have it for Microsoft. They have it for Tesla. They have it for Apple. So if any of those stocks get crushed and you want to play a leverage bet on that, you can buy these. And the leverage is just, you put in $1, they give you $1.50. It's not like 2, 3, 4x. Okay? So I don't think you'll blow out. I think you'll just print money over time. But you want to buy stage ones. So if I'm building positions in these, I'm just buying stage ones, man. Now, as a trader, we could trade them. Take it down here, let it come down, add it on. And we believe that over time, these assets are going to go higher and higher and higher and higher. And as traders, we can trade inside of that in our trading account while owning it in our buy and hold account. And if you become a good investor, and I mean you actually pay fucking attention, like you would on sports, like you pay attention. And when you see a hot girl walk by and you look at her, instead of doing that all the time, you know, guys, I watch dudes, man. They're like little shark perverts. You just watch them. Go down there in Bourbon Street. We just watch guys, just watch their eyes. Watch them. And I think, man, what if you had that same intensity for the stock market? Imagine how fucking rich you'd be. If every time a pretty girl walked by, you're doing and guys, they all do it, man. Watch them. Watch them. Just stand back and watch dudes. Spot the girl and then watch all the dudes around her and think, man, what if your eye caught P? What if going down the street, like you were like, whoa, Exxon, XON, 5.2% yield. Stage 2 breakout right now. Now, I just said that. I made that up. Let's see. Ooh, stage 2 breakout right now. That's pretty sexy. And what makes me look and take a double look is when this stock, when she walks by and it's breaking that 20. And that 5's coming up. And I'm like, man, oh man. Look at that. Most guys aren't doing that, guys. They're not doing that. You see what I'm saying? Now, I know that's kind of a crude comparison, ladies. And I'm sure ladies do it too. And what if you started noticing that convenience store or those kids are on their phone and you're like, what are you guys looking at? I always ask kids what they're looking at. What the fuck are you looking at, man? Why? That's how I got Snapchat, man. Pinterest. What are ladies doing with their crap? They're on Pinterest. Well, cool. I need to know that. I'm not on Pinterest, but I need to know that. That's the money flow, man. And if we believe over time, prices go up as we start building this out. Now, all kinds of other classes, books and things, this is your learning curve. You're going to spend the rest of your life doing this, where you're going to be understanding a stage 1 to 3, building out your portfolio, balancing the positions, looking at different sectors. Like, you're going to do all that, man. That's when it gets fun, man. All that shit's fun. People that don't like that, they're just broke. Period. You know, the only exception to that is they're buying a business that's very successful, or they're putting money in real estate. If they don't own real estate and they don't own stocks, they are fucking broke. They might not look like it. You might get fooled by the dumb shit in their house that's all going to zero. You might get fooled by that, but they are not rich. It's impossible. You own stocks, you own a successful business, or you own real estate. That's it, man. It's one of 3 things. Everything else is going to fucking zero. Everything in your house, all the plastic shit, this monitor, this book here, everything around me, all this stuff here that all costs, all this shit, except for this ledger. That ain't going to zero. But though the ledger itself might. Everything around me, look at this, all this stuff. It's all going zero. Now, that's not true for these are antiques, so but you get what I'm saying. This here, it's not. So it'll outlive us. It's bigger than you. And you can provide for your kids, family. So you got to get serious about it, man, in a big way. I want to leave you with one idea. And I need, well, I want you, let's listen to this just for a second as a group, okay? Stay with me, man. Come back. Don't leave.
Best investment you can make is in yourself. I mean, for example, communication skills. I tell the students that come that they're going to graduate schools and business, and they're learning all these complicated formulas, all that. If they just learn to communicate better, both in writing and in person, they increase their value at least 50%. You know, I mean, if you can't communicate, somebody says, you know, it's like winking at a girl in the dark. Nothing happens, you know, basically. And you have to be able to get forth your ideas. It's just hugely important. And if you invest in yourself, nobody can take it away from you.
Are you comfortable today with what you're giving? I mean, does it feel
It's exactly what I want
does
to
it
do.
feel like the right thing to be
It's the
doing
right,
right
it's
now?
the right thing because it's going to people who believe, as the Gates, for example, that every life is of equal value. I mean, the truth is, I've got a lot of wealth, little pieces of paper, with Berkshire Hathaway on it. They're claim checks on all kinds of goods and services in the world. They can buy anything. I can buy 400-foot yachts and have 20 homes and all that. I wouldn't be happier, but they can buy anything. And once they move into the hands of people who are working like hell on getting something accomplished in areas I want them to, you know, I love the idea of getting amused, and that's what they're doing.
Three things in hiring people: look for integrity, intelligence, and energy. If that person didn't have the first two, that the latter two would kill them. Because if they don't have integrity, you want them dumb and lazy. You don't want them smart and energetic.
Well, I think I stay healthy partly by being happy, actually. I think I think it really helps if your stomach isn't grinding all the time and you're doing things you don't want to do, or you're working with people that, you know. So I've gone very light on the diet advice. I eat like a normal 6-year-old, but if you look at the mortality statistics, I mean, 6-year-olds don't die very often. I mean, diet's doing something for them. If I gave you a car, and it'd be the only car you get the rest of your life, you'd take care of it like you can't believe it. And you scratch and fix that moment, you read the owner's manual, you keep a garage and do all these things, and you get exactly one mind and one body in this world. And you can't start taking care of it when you're 50. By that time, you'll have rusted out if you haven't done anything. So you should really make sure that you just remember that you just got one mind and body to get through life with and to do it.
What does make Warren Buffett happy?
I just have a lot of fun doing my job. I mean, I can do anything I want, basically, as long as it doesn't involve athletic ability or anything like that. But if it's something I can buy anything, basically. I've been on 400-foot yachts, and I've lived the life a little bit with people that have 10 homes and everything. And I live in the same house I bought in 1958. And if I could spend $100 million on a house and make me a lot happier, I'd do it. But for me, that's the happiest house in the world. And it's because it's got memories and people come back and all that sort of thing. So I am doing what I love to do with people I love. And it doesn't get any better than that, Judy. But I should be. I mean, why in the hell should I be working at 86 at something that I don't like, or with people I don't like? The most important thing is really who you're so.
Woo! That was some bombs right there. That was some bombs right there. And that's the truth, man. And you know, I'm going to start trying to wrap. I mean, I can talk, it takes me like 12 hours to explain the money flow, so I can't obviously do it in one video. But we've done it in person, and it takes about that long. But what he says there, if your goal is to beat the market, meaning this here, this is the Dow Jones, and it was way down here, and it's way up here, and it doesn't matter what anybody on YouTube says, Barron's, Morningstar, it doesn't matter what anyone says. What has happened throughout all of known history? Now, if there's someone who can read the future, you know, they're Nostradamus, maybe Jesus comes back, Buddha shows up, Ron L. Hubbard, Scientology comes back, and they can read the future, then maybe we go with that. And the government will tell you past performance is not indicative of future results. Well, that's all we got. You know, what we did in the past. And if you're running a football team, you watch games people played in the past, and you try to set up defenses and offenses against the videos of people you watched in the past. And all you can do is look at what people did in the past. And you can look at the COVID-19 crash. We're not on Instagram, so we can say it now. If you look what happened then, if you look at what happened in this bank crisis, you know, you can go on YouTube right now and you'll find some content that the world's going to fucking end. The reality is, if you actually do some research, America, a lot of it is funded on these small regional banks. There is no circumstance where they let the regional banks in America crash. If they do that, we are fucked anyway. It doesn't matter. Like, you know, and if you're viewing Bitcoin or gold as something that's going to go up really high and make you some sort of wealthy person when the world around you burns, it's completely ridiculous. How will you know when to sell it? And if you sell it, you're going to get paper. If you just sit and think on it, it doesn't even make sense. What has always happened, though, is that quality things go higher. The price of a Ford truck 150, promise you, will be more in 2 or 3 years than it is today. You know that to be true. You've experienced it. A can of Campbell's soup cost more. You know that's true. Your rent has only ever gone up. You know that's true. All that gets passed through. Any of you guys that own a business, you know this is true. Your labor cost goes up, you raise the cost to your customer. Your insurance goes up, you raise the cost to your customer. That's what pushes the price of rent up. It's not greedy landlords. It's insurance went up, tax. So you get what I'm saying? Well, guess what? I may show a bump in cash flow, but everything I'm buying with that cash flow went up. So if I make an extra $5, but beer costs an extra $5, pretty much where I was yesterday. Does that make sense? So these assets, a business, real estate, land, gold, bonds, Bitcoin, these things, not every day, not day to day, not April to April, but over their lifetime, over a period of time, offset inflation, and they go up, while all the consumable things we buy go to zero. Now, we need those things. Like, I need toothpaste, right? So I'm not hating on buying toothpaste. You need toothpaste. You just cannot have where all of your money goes to things that go to zero, and none of your money goes to things that go up and appreciate over time. And somehow we got to get that thing, and I call that difference margin. And margin is what makes people wealthy, not stock picking skills. Stock picking skills can help. So like this is the banking sector, but it doesn't matter if I don't have margin, meaning I can't buy any shares. So if I can't just drop $430, then I can't get any shares, right? Well, some people are going to buy $4,000. They're going to get 100 shares. And let's just say that 2 years from now, we don't even remember this live. You don't even remember you were on here. You really don't remember. Like, I don't know what was going on 2 years ago today. You won't remember this day. And these stocks here will be back here, most likely. Unless Peter Schiff's right and the world ends, then I don't think it fucking matters anyway. So, but these will go back. But you can't do anything here if you don't have any margin. So the problem is this process of accumulation, like you see Buffett and these people buying things, you have to get the money from somewhere, you know, and that's why they say if you own a business that produces more income than you need, it's called margin. Businesses have operating margin. Well, you have it in your life too. The higher you can push that margin, and that may be through Usually it looks like early you're cutting back and you're increasing. But you got to buy things that you believe will continue to go up over time. And when they go down, you've got to have faith to buy more. And that because you have more money to put in. And if you're consistently putting in money, if you think about it over a long period of time, like you need these moments, man. And I know a lot of you are like, yeah, dude, I get it. Remember, some people are new. This big down move. Now, my friend, the day trade professor, shorted it. That's trading. We're not talking trading. And then guess what? When it was coming down, I was talking to him. I was waiting for a money flow signal to start buying, right? And so all that is the same. He sold off the stage 4 to buy the stage 1. And we're just looking at it different. So if you're quick enough, bam, you're short regional banks. Bam. Money flow rules apply. You catch that break, falls below the whatever time you're looking at. Maybe it's a 1 hour, 1 minute, 5 minute. Maybe it's I don't know. Probably not a weekly, but you're whatever your time continuum is. You're looking at your time. It breaks under. Same pattern, man. Same pattern we had here in gold on the way up. Where's our target? Previous high. Same pattern on the way down. That's the money flow, man. So as I'm watching this, I can use it to accumulate wealth. Like, cool, this is my chance, guys. So look at this one. Here's another one. Done this one. Where'd it go? Did I lose it? I did. We'll end on this. Boy, Charlie Munger's a weird looking dude, huh? I got it. Charles Schwab. It's fallen the most it's ever fallen since like 1981. Now you got to go research this. I don't know your risk tolerance, but if I'm a guy following the markets or following football, or following whatever, there's my massive drop. We got our anchor point. Now I'm looking for price to get above the 5. We got it there. You know, I do not trust these. Almost always, this is going to take a minute. You got time. And I was talking with the press about that. Like, I'm going to be picking this up in here, man. There's no rush here. And then eventually, if everything gets back to normal, it's a big payday, man. It's the only way to get in Ford or McDonald's or 3M or Google or Apple. Like, you know, when these big things happen, that's your chance, you know. Look at this. Back this up. Look at Uber, man. $14 here, $20 there. It's like, fuck. When you see that. But you ain't going to do that if you don't have faith. And you're not going to get them all right. That's why we use diversification. That's why you look at my board, different sectors, because some shit we're going to get wrong and some we're going to get really right. And if we get some really, really, really right, and then some just okay, and some in line with the market, and some not that bad, that's right out of Buffett's letter, man, of how he's, you know, done his returns. And the ones that are right, don't sell them. You'll see guys, because their stock went up, they got out of it. It's like, no, man, let it run. Let it 5x, 10x, 20x, hold it 10 years. Compound that shit. Add to it on the ones and get 50, 60, you know, 100,000, you know, $20,000 positions in all of these and let them pay you money. And then you get $2,000 in a week, man, in dividends. All right, man, we'll let this play out. We're going to wrap it up.
Don't associate with people that are better than you are. I mean, basically, you'll go in the direction of the people that you associate with, and you want to have the right heroes. You want people, if you want to emulate somebody, you better pick very carefully who you want to emulate. And when, obviously, you can't pick your parents. They're going to have an enormous influence on you, but you don't get a choice on that. But you get choices as you go down the line. And who you admire, who you want to copy, and the most important for most people in terms of that decision is their spouse. It's also important in terms of a partner in business, but the partner in life is the most important spouse that's little bit better than you are. And then he or she, you hope they don't figure it out too fast. Capitalism's all about somebody coming and trying to take the castle. Now, what you need is you need a castle that has some durable competitive advantage, some castle that has a moat around it.
So what's the secret?
The secret is to find what you love to do. I mean, I tell the students, look for the job that you would take if you didn't need a job. I mean, that's that simple. And I was lucky enough to find it very early in life. And then the second thing is to have people around you that make you feel good every day and make you a better person than you otherwise would be. I have more fun doing this than anything else I can think of in the world. And I've seen a lot of other things you could do in the world. If you asked me to trade away a very significant percentage of my net worth, either for some extra years on or being able to do during those years what I want to do, I'd do it in a second.